ASAP Rocky.
Stop breaking up these fans, bro. All right, let's.
Been involved in
Multiple scuffles, brawls, and punch ups throughout the years, often with even his own fans. While many media outlets wanted to paint him as a violent and aggressive person, is that really the case, or is it more complicated than that? A common link to any fights and feuds is his celebrity status and the unwanted attention he received from becoming a famous rapper. During his childhood, there's no recorded incidents of violence to indicate that Rocky's naturally a violent person. Before he became famous,
Niggas from Harlem, so.
he spent 2 weeks in Rikers Island prison in New York, but his only crime was drug dealing. This was a lifestyle he said he never enjoyed and something he did to make some money. In an interview with GQ, he said, "I had to be tough when I was dealing, but that's not naturally me." He later says, "The thing with me is if I feel disrespected, I won't hesitate to fight, but it takes a lot to make me feel disrespected." Any violent crimes he would commit come after he became ASAP Rocky the rapper. His celebrity status arrived in 2011 when he released the song Peso, which became a viral hit.
Ever did, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Beat is fire.
He followed this up with
Purple Swag, and then through the Live Love ASAP mixtape. He was now a famous rapper. Despite achieving his dream, this would have its drawbacks. In the early years, ASAP and his crew became known for their wild and unpredictable live performances. A 2011 gig at Fader Fort would be the first to create this reputation. ASAP Rocky was not happy at the size of the stage he was performing at, and he got angry. ASAP Rocky and the crew soon started throwing around the drum sets and thrashing the stage. The stage manager sued the ASAP mob for alleged.
Damn, they got a. Damn, bro. Yo, ASAP, we got a TP, man. Like, it's not that serious. Is you getting paid, bro?
assaulting him.
But this case was thrown out when the stage handler failed to turn up to court. This was the first, but not the last lawsuit that they would have on their hands. ASAP Rocky's stardom continued to grow, and in April of 2012, Rocky and the ASAP mob were performing at South by Southwest. This gig ended in a brawl where members of the ASAP mob simply went into the crowd and started fighting fans. Security and the police eventually calmed things down. Unlike Fader Fort, this is a case where the reaction from the ASAP mob was somewhat justified. Explaining the situation, Rocky said, "We got hit with beer cans 8 times. 8. My pants were $1,000 and the crowd kept throwing stuff on them. Not to mention that getting hit with a beer can hurts. In the middle of me asking nicely, they threw another. So I had to whoop somebody's ass." And this is particularly why...
Nah, I understand. I understand why he would get tight over that, bro. Fuck, y'all niggas, bro, fans gotta chill out, bro. Y'all niggas gotta chill out, bro. Like, damn, he's performing and y'all niggas throwing, like, bottles and beer bottles and shit. Beer cans. Like, TP, bro. Like, relax.
ASAP Rocky has been involved
in so many incidents. If you take so much as a cursory glance through YouTube, you'll find countless examples of fans throwing random objects at rappers for attention. It's a sad reality that many concert goers will do whatever
Yeah, niggas be fiending. Like, y'all be fiending. Like,
takes to get the performance.
performer's attention, but another reason why Rocky got involved in so many altercations is because of the style of his live shows. In the 2010s, artists like ASAP Mob, Migos, Odd Future, Travis Scott, and others embraced the mosh pit and crowd surfing that was more associated with rock and metal crowds. Jay-Z and Drake aren't getting into mosh pits and, as a result, are getting into fewer altercations with fans. This is something that is likely to happen when you have hundreds of people grabbing you. It basically comes with the territory. But if an incident happens once or twice, that's one thing. But when there's almost 10, that says something about the artist. Outside of concerts that got out of control, Rocky and other members of the mob were also involved in an altercation in Manhattan in 2012. 2 onlookers saw Rocky and others getting into a heated argument and decided to take out their phones and get some photos and videos of the situation. ASAP's attention quickly turned to these people taking photos of them, and both he and ASAP Bigga Bars, aka ASAP Bari, immediately confronted them. The police arrived and handcuffed Rocky and Bari. The two amateur photographers received cuts and bruises, but nothing that warranted medical attention. In the end, Rocky was charged with larceny, which refers to theft. This presumably refers to ASAP Rocky and Bari, attempting to take the phones of these people so they couldn't publish any photos or videos online. Someone with ASAP Rocky's bank balance probably doesn't need to resort to robbing people on the street. Rocky was given 3 days of community service and a $250 fine. But here's another reason why ASAP Rocky keeps getting into so many altercations. Because of his fame, his privacy was inevitably going to be violated, but he was in a public place. These people found him in a delicate moment that he didn't want broadcasted to the world, and he...
That's what it is to being a celebrity, man. Like, you are, I mean, A$AP Rocky chose this lifestyle, man.
He didn't want to have
any of it. The incident didn't paint Rocky in a good light, but the next year became much more controversial as the people he allegedly attacked were women. In July of 2013, Rocky released his first studio album, Long Live ASAP, and he was touring Australia. The Daily Mail led with the incredibly loaded headline, "Does rapper ASAP Rocky slap an overzealous female fan as he's mobbed at show in Sydney?" According to the article, ASAP Rocky was weaving through the crowd and being mobbed by fans and had people grabbing him everywhere. A woman taps him on the head and blows him a kiss, and Rocky responds by slapping her in the face and then pointing his finger at her afterward. However, it was unclear whether this slap was just a playful slap or something more sinister. The fact that nothing came further from it probably means that there wasn't much to this incident, and while a lot of Rocky fans were willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, another incident occurred later that year that didn't paint him in a great light either. In September of 2013, Rocky appeared at the Made in America festival in Philadelphia. During this concert, he was accused of slapping a female fan in the face, which caused whiplash to the woman involved. It was another incident of violence against a woman, and it's not something you would want to ignore or brush under the carpet. Apparently, Rocky was weaving through the crowd, and his fans were grabbing and tugging on his t-shirt. This aggravated him and forced him to slap one of his own fans.
Yeah.
Lisa Marie Wade claims that
I ain't like smack foul, huh, bro? Like,
this slap was unprovoked
and it disoriented her. She filed a civil suit, but one of the witnesses didn't turn up to court. She filed a private complaint, but could not find him to serve the private complaint. She said the slap made her enjoy society with her minor child as a young single mother. There were no jury and judge that looked into this and decided that this was a serious assault, so it's hard to make judgments on this either way. In 2015, Rocky was filmed in a verbal dispute while he was at a bagel shop in Brick Lane in East London. Rocky can be heard saying, "What's up? Shall I snuff you right now? What's good?" This person is squaring up to him, and Rocky tells him not to throw stuff at his car. Rocky shouts expletives at him, and there's a bit of a back and forth before Rocky leaves. Someone butts in and says, "This is London," to which Rocky replies, "I love London. I respect London." Rocky then makes his way back to his car. ASAP Rocky tweeted about this incident with, "They be dying for a lawsuit. I learned my lessons in the past with you so-called tough guys. I'm too cool. I got money now. Plan on keeping it too." In an interview with Billboard later that year, he addressed these altercations he seemed to be having. He said, "If I get a little high and drunk, I might just get a little aggressive. But I'm usually cool. I hate overreacting because you look like an asshole later." He then addressed the lawsuits against him. These people love to sue for no reason. They mess with you, then they sue you. That's just the way it is. An interesting part of this clip is that ASAP Rocky does not have bodyguards surrounding him at every move, and he's just with two other...
see, that's the problem, bro. He needs bodyguards, bro. That ass.
friends in the bagel shop.
Would this person be saying the same thing if there was a giant security guard present? Probably not. A year later, Rocky was reported to be in another incident in Auckland, New Zealand. He had performed at the Vector Arena earlier that night and was getting into an elevator with several women. 3 men tried to budge their way inside. Onlookers claimed that Rocky swung a punch in defense of the other women in the elevator. The phrase "F ASAP" was also yelled. One of the attackers was arrested. Rocky went on Twitter to downplay the incident and tweeted, "Little scuffle, still pretty, still handsome." Interestingly, Rocky did have a security guard with him, but still got attacked. Reflecting later on this situation, it was clearly more than a little scuffle. He said, "When I was in Auckland, me and my security guard were attacked by men in an elevator, and when the cops arrived, they stabbed the cops. They were meth addicts." In January 2019, Rocky was performing in Toronto in what looks like to be another altercation. This video also shows what's allegedly Playboy Cardi smashing a glass bottle. Although this footage isn't crystal clear, The outfits worn by these people were the same outfits Rocky and Cardi were wearing on their Instagram stories later that day. Neither Rocky nor Cardi have addressed the situation. All of these incidents never amounted to much, but it was an altercation in Stockholm, Sweden that would make international headlines. In the summer of 2019, Rocky was traveling through Europe and played at the Smash Festival in Stockholm, Sweden. A few days later, on the 30th of June, while walking through the city, Rocky was involved in an altercation. On the 3rd of July, ASAP Rocky and his crew members, Vladimir Korniel and David Rispers, were arrested for aggravated assault. This meant that he had to pull out of the Longitude Festival in Dublin and Wireless Festival in London later that week. Video footage emerged of ASAP Rocky beating up a man on the street, which included breaking his man's headphones. ASAP Rocky explained the situation on Instagram and said, "So a few drug addicts are not my fans. We don't know these guys and didn't want trouble. They followed us for 4 blocks, and they were slapping girls' butts who passed by. Give me a break." Rocky posted videos that back up some of these claims. The footage did show that he was being followed, and there's also footage of him trying to de-escalate the situation. The common narrative is that the Swedish courts found him guilty, but released him due to diplomatic pressure from Donald Trump. Rocky now believes that Trump claims that Trump made things worse. Whatever the case may be, Rocky was a free man once again. Rocky was found guilty, but his crimes were not severe enough to land him any more time in a Swedish jail. Rocky's words on this experience were, "That was a scary, humbling experience. God is good." With ASAP Rocky narrowly avoiding time spent in a Swedish prison, you would think his life would be drama-free from here on in, but something from the past came back to haunt him. In what is an ongoing case, ASAP Rocky was accused of shooting fellow ASAP mob member ASAP Relly. Rocky claims that he was being extorted, whereas Relly believes that Rocky either intentionally shot him or was just
Damn, bro. You clapped your mans, bro.
incredibly reckless when
carrying a firearm. The outcome of this case will be interesting, to say the least. There was also the incident, which we didn't really get too much information from publicly, where ASAP Rocky was cut in the face and ended up with a scar. But despite these incidences, ASAP Rocky seems to have mellowed since his younger days. On a recent Drink Champs podcast, he reflected on his early gigs and said, "We was wildin' back then. We didn't really have a lot to lose. I think I was way more reckless back then. I've grown." Or the fact that he's largely, for the most part, around
He's with Rihanna.
on Rihanna,
who is walking around with many security guards, so it makes it less likely for people to get close to him as they have been the past 8 to 10 years. For ASAP Rocky to get in an altercation now, there's a lot more at stake than when he first started out in 2011. As well as a rapper, he's done many other things and has branched out into fashion. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, is in a serious relationship with Rihanna with a second kid on the way. He now has a ton more to lose, so that should hopefully result in a lot less altercation.
Do y'all think he had a right to do that or not, bro? And let me know what y'all thoughts on him, bagging Rihanna, bro. Like, let me let me know what y'all think about that, bro. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes of just checking out you are.